Let's now get to the main reason why we are here, which is to interview 10K Club member Gaz from the Smashers Academy. So just to kind of give you a bit of background to Gaz before I introduce him and I bring him on. Gaz joined on the 25th of May, so virtually this time last year, just a couple of days out. So it's his 1 year birthday with the Smashers Academy, 1 year since his life changed for the better. And he didn't make a post in the group, so I couldn't find what his goals and aspirations were. We'll have to find that out from him. But I did do some serious stalking on him this afternoon, and I found some really good posts that he'd made. So he made one on the 16th of December where he says his stock had just arrived, time to actually learn PPC, so get his head stuck into the course. So that was 16th of December. So he kind of missed a lot of the rush of Christmas because, you know, a lot of people do their Christmas shopping in the first week or so. 16th of December onwards is basically the panic buyers, the disorganized people. But that did not stop him because he absolutely demolished it. In fact, you can see that his sales increased through to January and February, which are normally really quiet months. So that is a super achievement. He also got his product to become a bestseller, and he got the 10K Club Award by February, which is absolutely fantastic. So without further ado, I am going to bring Gaz on now. If I can just figure out how to stop sharing my screen. Gaz, welcome.
Hello.
First of all, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, man, all good.
Good. That's always the biggest worry of mine, that I'm just talking to myself and I've not seen any of the comments saying, we can't hear you, can't hear you. So Gaz, welcome to the Smasher Sessions. It's awesome to have you here because I know that we were just talking before I brought you on, weren't we? That you said you watched a few of these and it was surreal actually getting on. So
surreal.
How does it feel to finally make it on the big screen?
Mate, it's awesome. The 10K, it's one of those things you see people get and you go, that'd be nice, you know, maybe in a year or two. You never think you'll actually get it. And then it happened.
I know, and it happened very, very quickly as well. Did that surprise you, or were you like, you know what, the G-man's here, he's going to smash it?
Absolutely surprised me. I thought maybe a year. I kept looking at the sales, like you said. Then we started in late December. I kept looking at the sales of my wife, and I was like, "Hey, we might do this 10K by the end of the year." And then what was it? March, I think, something like that. February, March.
Yeah.
And,
You did that in record time. So did is your wife, I mean, I'm kind of jumping around quickly already here,
right.
but is your wife always been a believer of you and Amazon FBA, or was she a bit like, yeah, you're going to have to prove me wrong here?
Yeah, basically, yeah. It was one of them. It was like, if it's really that good, why isn't everybody doing it? And do you know what? It's probably helpful to have a partner that's a little bit, because it probably levels you out a bit, balances you out. But then when sales started coming in, she was all aboard. Then it was all good.
Oh, really? I'll have to tell
when
my
the sales
wife
started
that.
coming in, that was it. She was like, right, what are we doing next? What are we doing next?
I like that. I mean, I tell my wife, I'm like, I had a record sales day today, and she's just like, really? I'm like, you're not going to ask me like how many sales? You know, she's just like, oh, that's nice, and just carries on. So, but
when the old shopkeeper cha-ching goes off.
Yeah.
When that goes off,
do you still have that running? Do you? You have your?
She has it. Oh yeah, definitely. She has it on her phone as well. So like, she might be on the other side of the house, and she goes, another one. So it's
really,
good. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Gaz, you know, I do really enjoy these sessions for a number of reasons, just to kind of learn more about you, your story, motivations, and share it, but also just to get to know you more. As I was just saying to you before, you know, we just connected the video. For some reason in my head, I always thought you were a Geordie, and I don't know why. I think I've just remembered. I think you messaged me about enrolling, and you said, "I can't wait," or something like that.
Definitely something.
And I just thought in my head, "Oh, he's a Geordie or whatever."
Yeah, that is me. Yeah, that's what it was.
So, yeah, no. So it's a great opportunity to learn more about you. But yeah, it would be great just, you know, before we go into the story, just like to learn a bit more about your background and how you kind of got to the position of wanting to give yourself another income stream with Amazon FBA.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll make it quick, or as quick as I can anyway. So I joined the army back in 2000. I was a dog handler for 10 years. Did Iraq, did Afghanistan. That was all a little bit hairy. Had a kid, and I thought, this isn't fun anymore. So I ditched that, got out, carried on working self-employed as a dog handler at the Olympics. So that was like 2010, 11 and 12. Then I joined the prison service because I thought I'll do something that's kind of similar to the military.
Yeah.
Did that for a few years, and then decided to go. My dad's a painter and decorator, or he was, and he was kind of struggling. So I thought I'd go and jump in and do that self-employed, have a bit of freedom. Hated it, absolutely hated it. But at this point, I'd kind of already gone self-employed. So I was like, I hate painting, but I like this self-employed life. This is pretty good. So then I've always been quite good on computers, and I heard about like arbitrage and drop shipping, and I was like, this sounds pretty good. But it never really convinced me that anyone would buy something when they have to wait for the delivery to come all the way from China. So kept hating painting, and then I think I was watching a TikTok or something. Something came up, and an advert came up, and it wasn't you; it was somebody else. But it got me interested, and for probably 12 to 18 months, all I was doing was looking at the people like yourself that were doing courses, and basically trying to convince myself to trust you guys that these courses are genuine.
I bet that was hard.
Oh, mate. Well, it's a lot of money to be putting up front when you don't know anybody that's done it. So it was like watching these smasher sessions when you're speaking to real people. That was the selling point for me, basically. And it wasn't long before deciding to do this. We'd found out. Oh God, I'm trying to think of the timeline of it. So my wife and I had a baby, and when he was 18 months old, we kind of, later than everyone else in the family, as it kind of usually happens, we were like, something's not right here. And it turns out he's autistic quite severely. And my wife was struggling at home. And I think she kind of thought she was doing something wrong. She was like, I can't connect with this baby. Like, what am I doing wrong? And turns out it's difficult to connect with anybody that's autistic at that age. So I started to try and be at home more. So this need to do something like FBA was really impacted by, I have to make this work. It's going to work. I have no choice but to make this work. And that kind of just gives you the gumption and the confidence to just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's kind of what I've done. And we've kind of looked at this as, it's got to work. I have to make it work. And it did.
Yeah. But you know what? I think that's super inspiring. And I think that that mindset is something that really does help to make an entrepreneur successful, because I actually spoke about that in a video I just did on YouTube, where I was just like, the reason I think I've been so successful is because failure is not an option. I have to make this work. And I think that's probably, a big part of the reason why you've persisted with your product research and you're launching product and the other issues that you face, which we'll come on to. But what was it specifically about, Amazon FBA then? Like you mentioned those other models there. Was, why FBA? What stuck out about that one?
It's the fact that they manage everything for you, holding the stock. I mean, everybody that goes on Amazon, including me and probably most of the people I know, if you could get it in 2 days, a few years ago, that would have been okay. Everybody wants it the next day. So the idea of doing anything but FBA, you're only getting the Prime badge because Amazon themselves guarantee they'll send it out the next day. And that's just the way of the world these days. So unless you can get it at someone's door the following day, I just don't think it's worth trying. And Amazon FBA, they cover everything. Yes, they take a percentage, but it's as far as I'm concerned, it's a percentage well worth paying.
Absolutely, yes. It's the exact same for me. I had similar thoughts running through my mind as well with drop shipping. I was like, surely people don't want to wait 2 months or whatnot for doing it. And then I started to look into it as the pandemic hit, and I'm thinking they're not even going to be waiting 2 months now. That's like best case scenario. It's going to be 6 months plus. So good old Amazon continued with the next day delivery. So you managed to scroll past all the twerking girls and stuff on TikTok. You found, someone reliable on there. I actually just started uploading on there today. So I've seen the type of people you get on there. So you managed to battle through that and stuck true to your word. So around this time last year, then you thought, come on board with the Academy. Can we just break down, I guess, the past year? Because a lot has happened, right? You've gone from someone with zero experience to, I think you're close to 6 figures, right? 6 figures in dollars. But to have that journey in a year is amazing. So take us back to the beginning and walk us through how that transpired.
Well, you've just kind of reminded me that it was a year ago. I didn't realise that we just said that. Was it 25th of May? I think you said
25th of May. Yeah.
So started doing the course. And it's nice. We're doing it stage by stage, come up with a business name and then get that registered. But then obviously you need to find a product before you trademark a brand name, really, because you want a brand name that's going to actually be associated with the product.
Yeah.
So product research, I know this is the bit that everybody, panics about. I'll just say it because I had an autistic son. I thought I want to sell something around, autism and like autistic toys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I convinced myself I was going to do. And for 4 months, I was searching, finding stuff, realizing it wasn't going to work. And it got to the point where I just went, okay, we're there. I'm not going to let go of any preconceived ideas I've got. And I'm just going to do the research as if I don't have any plan. And I actually found our first product by doing keyword searches. So for anyone that doesn't know, you're basically using the likes of Helium-10 to find things that people are searching for. So what keywords they're using. And something popped up. I mean, I'd like to say it was skill. It wasn't. It was just, and this is why people
should bring it down a bit there.
Yeah, people shouldn't be put off with product research because you just need to keep doing it. Something will just land in front of you. You don't know what it's going to be. You don't know when it's going to happen, but it will just appear. And for anyone that knows what I'm selling, this is not something I intended on selling. It was just appeared, and I thought, okay, let's do some digging. Did some digging. It was very oversaturated. I mean, there's a lot of people selling this, but the branding was shocking. So that was our way in. We didn't even have to differentiate that much with the product itself.
Oh, really? So when you first saw it, then when it kind of landed, was it Helium-10's keyword search?
Yeah, Helium-10. Yeah.
So when you saw that, what kind of boxes did it tick, and what boxes didn't it tick? Just trying to help the people watching that when you first find something, it's not going to be a case of going, "Yep, it's the perfect product."
No, God, no. It was the search volume was bang on. The price was bang on. The reviews were quite high. So it took me a little bit of tweaking with the review count. I mean, I ended up looking for anything over 1,000 reviews. I was happy to go with.
Yeah.
And these had like 1,500 and up. But we went for it anyway. And it ticked most of the boxes apart from the review count. And the review count was high because a lot of people have been selling it for a long time. But like I say, it was just the branding on the others. We thought, do you know what, we can do a better job of that. And we did. And that is without a doubt what has got us where we are now.
Yeah. And when you say that the branding was poor, was it, your typical Chinese sounding names, or was it UK sellers that didn't know what they were doing?
It was it was mostly Chinese sellers, probably the manufacturers themselves. And it was atrocious. I mean, looking at the listings themselves, they literally just taken every keyword that was relevant and just stuck that in the title. And they did the same kind of through the listing. The pictures weren't great. One of them had stolen a picture from another company, a reputable UK-based company with a celebrity on it, and they'd used that.
Yeah. Really? And I bet they didn't even know this.
Yeah. It was a celebrity. They just ripped it off this celebrity's Instagram and stuck it on there. So yeah, and it was just, you know what, we can do a better job than that. We can show them where we're from. Our customer service will be absolute top notch. They'll see that we're from the UK, and actually, do you know what? And this is the other thing, because these sellers had been selling for a while unchallenged. They were selling. I mean, the price they were selling this for was ridiculous.
Was it?
Yeah. So it actually allowed us to come in quite low, but still be profitable. And not upset them, which is when
you ruffled a few feathers, didn't you?
Yeah, just a few.
So, but we'll come on to that. I don't want to spoil it too much. But no. I guess so. Your main differentiation angle was basically the branding. Was there anything else that you wanted to do, like for example, bundling or improved listing? You were just like, we just want to nail.
Literally, it got to the point where it was a product that was selling. I mean, it was selling like hotcakes. So it was a product that was going to work, but not one seller had branding that I considered to be very professional.
Taught by Jansen.
yeah. So it was. You know what? We can do this just by improving the branding. We haven't even got to differentiate that much.
And has the quality improved since you've come on? Like, have other sellers gone, hang on, we need to do something here?
No, the celebrity picture that was ripped off, that's gone.
Is it still there?
No, that's gone. Somebody must have reported
really?
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not really, but what has happened is I don't know if I've spoken to you about it before. So after doing some digging, a lot of these brands are actually the same individual, and they've just changed their business name by like a couple of letters. And as you've probably seen, the business name is about 100 characters long.
Yeah. It's like a Chinese weird name.
The address is the same. So what's happened is they're just now trying to throw lots of different brands all over the first page, and it's not really making a dent, to be honest, because we're branding, because we're doing some decent branding.
I must say you did some superb investigating skills, because was it late nights? Was your wife helping you? Well, I mean, we'll come on to the story later, but was it like a family affair?
No, to be honest, it wasn't. It was just me tearing my hair out, and I'm really stubborn, so I was like, "Nah, they ain't getting away with this." Yeah. And to be honest, talk to you helped because you were like, "Do not stop.
Yeah,
keep going. I mean, Amazon, they must be so annoyed with me. The amount of emails I pinged off to them. I didn't have to include the big man in the end, but
I mean, to be honest, it was the same with me. I'm not sure if when it was you asking or someone was asking me for what I wrote, and I was digging through my old emails, and I must have been so annoying. I mean, it was back in 2019. Yeah. I just sent the email straight to Jeff. I was like, listen, this person is attacking me. I would never do that now. I'm a lot more cautious about who I include in my emails now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was the same as you. You know, when somebody, threatens the success of your business, you're going to do whatever possible, right?
Yeah.
But before we get onto that, I'm quite interested just to learn a bit more about your way of finding this product, because I think you're one of the first people I've spoken to that's done it via the keyword research method. So what kind of metrics were you using in terms of volume, search volume and revenue? Were you just going, the sky's the limit, or?
I can't remember what the search volume was, but it was pretty high. The thing is, obviously, I kept, like, as well, you keep tweaking, the numbers, don't you? I think it was around 10,000 search volume. The price, I think the revenue, I think I went for a minimum of 8. I mean, as it turns out, I went for a minimum of 8. We're doing 30 now. So
30 a month.
Yeah.
Lovely. Are you happy with that?
In revenue,
or you just like more?
Yeah. But it was the weight was, I think, 3 or 4 pounds. We kept it all. We were trying to do something that was going to be small and light because of the shipping costs. But yeah, ultimately the search volume, it was about 10,000. It was pretty high, and I don't think I restricted the categories that much, but because the weight was so restricted and the size was so restricted, it was quite small items that were coming through. But I was blown away by what it. In fact, when I did the search, it was the first one that came up. So when I say to people, like, it will just happen, it just landed there. It was just there in front of me, and I thought, okay, I'll have a dig at this. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know it existed. Now I know a bit about it. But it was just there, and I was like, okay. So I've just spent 4 months searching for something specific that I wanted to sell, and I think I did 3 days of giving up the ghost and just letting the universe tell me what I was going to sell. And that was it. It just landed. So this is why people shouldn't be put off.
Absolutely, yeah. So was it 4 months of continuous research? Like, have you got any advice for people in terms of, did you allocate a certain amount of time in your day to research, like small amounts, or?
I was trying to do it. I was doing it from my iPad. I was trying to do it every kind of spare chance I had. On average, I was probably getting in maybe an hour. You can get into a danger of just sitting there and doing it like you're revising and just doing like a whole evening of it. But I started doing that, and I started getting really narked with FBA and the idea of doing it, because you spend all that time doing it every single
Yeah.
day and don't find anything, you start to get in danger of giving up.
Yeah.
But I ended up doing probably like an hour, do an hour. Okay, haven't found anything. Cool, I'll have another look tomorrow. And that's kind of the way I did it in the end. And I didn't lose the will to live.
And were you rotating methods, or were you, just continuing to?
Yeah, I was doing bits and pieces, to be honest. And, I kind of ended up with the same kind of things I was looking for, the same kind of search categories, the same prices. So I was putting the same things in the boxes, and different things were coming up every day. But yeah, I was trying to mix it up. But yeah, it was just that keyword thing in the end. I did that for 3 days, and bang,
it's a great tip. So you came across the opportunity, you thought this is great, and then you saw the opportunity there to differentiate on the branding, but were you still like 100% on it? Was there still a little bit of uncertainty? What was in your mind, as you were thinking about this in order?
I was certain enough that it was going to sell, so I knew I wouldn't lose any money. I knew it was going to sell. I didn't know how well it was going to sell. I kind of got to the point that I was like, do you know what? I just need to get something out there so they can learn how to use Seller Central. Because until you've actually got something on there, you've got something coming back from customers, and you're kind of just sitting there not really knowing how to use Seller Central. So I thought, do you know what? If I've got something that I at least get my money back with, I haven't lost anything, but I've learned a lot. So that was kind of the headspace I had in the end. I was like, hopefully it works, but if it doesn't, at least I'll get my money back. But it worked. I just, I'm even now, I'm like,
is it still working when your phone's going off and saying you've got another sale?
Yeah, it's mental. I mean, I think we were averaging, until I ran out of stock a couple of weeks ago, we were doing like 150 sales a day. And it was just
that's insane. That's awesome for considering you've not even been doing it 6 months, or you're just coming up to 6-month anniversary, aren't you?
Yeah.
Huge congrats. I didn't know you getting those numbers. That's serious figures.
Crazy, man.
Do you know what you kind of don't really appreciate? So you don't really appreciate how many sales 100 units is until you actually see that many units in front of you. The whole fiasco that I went through last year with having to read barcode labels, with my listing getting removed, I've had to be relabeling 100 units a day. And I'm like, that is actually an insane amount, isn't it? It's like a massive carton that Amazon's shipping out. So those figures are really, really amazing. So I hope you're happy with those, and I hope your wife is pleased as well.
Oh, she's on board now. She's fully on board now. I'll tell you what, with like you say, with 100 units, it makes you appreciate the manufacturers, because when they send me videos, when they send me the videos of them packing, I'm like, you've got to do that a lot. Like, I've just ordered 5,000 units from you.
That's all they do. Yeah.
Mental.
So have you got a good relationship with your supplier? Let's talk about supplier. Have you sent them any gifts, any flowers?
I haven't yet, but I should, because she's an absolute legend. She's awesome. I do need to send something out to her, because she's on the ball. She's like on the ball. If there's a holiday coming up that I'm not aware of, she'll be like, listen, we're going on our holidays in a few days. We're going to be gone for this many days. See if the freight forwarder can get it in by this time, because then.
Oh, really?
Oh, she's so good. In fact, half the time she just speaks to the freight forwarder on my behalf.
Does she?
And just sorts everything. She'll be like, it's a fine. I've spoke to him. It's all sorted. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Yeah. That's absolutely half the battle as well. Key to success, having a good supplier that's communicative, can talk, speak in English, understand each other, and supportive, which is great. So it sounds like you've landed on your feet with that one. So you found the supplier. And was this just through browsing Alibaba, or did you?
Just messaging everybody on Alibaba, and it basically came down to who communicated the best. Even sometimes you send a message out to a supplier, and I know they're busy. I know I'm not their priority, especially if it's a first message. Just send me a message saying, I've received your message. Leave it with me. I'll get back to you. Maybe 10% of them did that.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? If the other 90%, if you respond in the next couple of days, I'm not interested, because these are the guys I'm going to talk to. And that 10% that were like on the ball, they got back to me, because that means going forward, you're going to have a relationship where they're going to communicate well. they're just ace, honestly. Like you just said, if you sent them anything, I feel bad now. I really should do, because they're so good. I've got no complaints at all about them. They're just amazing.
Yeah,
And I'll be honest, like I had preconceived ideas of what it would be like to communicate with a Chinese supplier.
yeah, yeah.
But they're ace. They're awesome.
Have you migrated out of Alibaba now? So you're just kind of chatting on your
Well,
phone, or
a little bit, but it's
Mm.
it's quite nice, because obviously any payments and stuff that come through, obviously they all get done on Alibaba. And I don't know why, but I don't think this lady sleeps, because like I will message, I'll send a
she'll
message,
reply.
not expecting a response until the next day, and she'll like, oh hey, how are you? And I'm like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Go to bed.
I know. I
Um,
think some of them just absolutely love it. I mean, the people that we talk to are probably like salespeople, so they get a lot
yeah,
of interaction. And
yeah,
I'm assuming they do it off the phone because, yeah, I've messaged my guy before at like 8, and it must have been like 2 or 3 in the morning, and he
yeah,
replies, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just changing my baby's nappy and stuff." And I'm like, "What? And you're on your phone messaging me?"
yeah, yeah,
You know, your wife's probably thinking, "What on earth are you
yeah.
doing?"
Stop
But
working.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, all right. So you found this the supplier, you made the order, and then had you already, nailed your branding? How did you go about thinking, I'm going to do an awesome brand, given
So
that was your differentiator?
yeah, basically got through. Just started finding people on Fiverr, just to get a bit of a feel on what kind of designs they would come up. I sent them a logo that we designed. Sent them that, and the first design I got back, I've been really lucky actually when I think
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
The
I know.
first
Yeah,
the first design I had back, I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant. Like,
really.
yeah, like if I could do any of this graphic design stuff, I'm like, that's what I would have done. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you give them
so
any inspiration then, or you literally just said, "This is the name. Go and do something"?
not really, honestly. Oh
Really?
god,
That's
I've
awesome.
really not done any hard work at all, have I, Johnson? No, literally,
Yeah,
I just said to him, "This is what we're selling. Can you just throw some ideas back at us?" And they did. And the first one, I was like, okay, there was a couple of tweaks, but it was nothing. It was just tiny
yeah.
stuff.
It wasn't
I was like,
completely like ripping
okay,
it up.
that's great. I did write our own listing to start with. Um, I wish I hadn't done that, to be honest. It was all right. It was nothing wrong with the listing. But if there's one piece of advice I'd give to anybody, is if you can, just pay that little bit. I say a little bit of money, £100 probably on
Yeah.
average. Just pay to get the things done properly, because if you do that at the beginning, you're not going to end up having to do it later down the line. Because that's what God, I made so many mistakes. It's actually quite nice, because when we do our second product, I'm not going to be panicking. I know what to do.
Hopefully, yeah, do it without issue. That's a nice
Yeah,
little segue where I can just say, yeah, if you do need help writing listing, then I've got my
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah,
side hustle.
yeah.
Although I don't think
Especially
you
with
came through
Facebook.
us, did you guys?
Nope,
Oh,
no, sorry.
cheers. It's actually my wife that does it, and
How is it?
yeah, I basically trained her because I was like, I just don't have the time, and I said,
Yeah,
I'll
I can
I'll teach
imagine.
you exactly how to do it. So she's a little
It's a
Amazon.
lengthy process, to be fair. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's yeah, it takes a bit of research. You've got to do keyword
yeah,
research, then look at competitors and
yeah,
all sorts. But yeah, I agree with you completely. It's so important to nail absolutely everything. And I
yeah,
said this on the live webinar last week. You can have the best product in the world, the best supplier in the world, which sounds like you do. But if the listing is really bad and it
yeah,
doesn't sell the features and it doesn't come across or make the product come across like a
yeah,
premium product, then customers aren't going to buy.
yeah.
So can you remember how much you spent on your logo?
On the logo,
Yeah, well, like to get this guy that was amazing because I know the quality does vary quite a bit on Fiverr.
do you know, it's a really simple logo. Without giving away too much, it's like a signature.
Is
Um,
it? Okay,
yeah,
fine.
it's literally just like a stylized writing. But
Yeah.
it's really effective. So it wasn't a lot. It was really cheap.
Yeah,
I mean,
great. So you can get things done cheaply then at a
yeah,
high
God,
quality
yeah.
that you like.
You kind of pick what you want to spend the money on. So like if I was going on Fiverr again, well, I know who I'm going to use, but if I was going to spend money, I'd be spending it around my kind of branding of my packaging, writing the listing, A+ content for the listing. Highly recommend getting that done if you can. You can kind of pick and choose what you're going to spend the money on. But what I did, I tried to do everything quite cheap to start with, and
Yeah, yeah,
you get what you pay for.
yeah,
You could
absolutely.
spend
And what about your
thousands, but you don't need to.
yeah, I agree. And what about your pictures? What did you do for those?
So our main photos, we obviously the guy that did the design for the packaging. Obviously, we had a photo from that,
Yeah,
and we had photos sent to us from the manufacturer. the product itself. So they just kind of incorporated those. What else? This was good. So when we had our listing written up and we asked someone to do our A+ content for us, they then recommended what photos would be good to place where within the A+ content.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah, it was really good. So they're like suggesting this for this, and you put this, try and get this photo here for this. I tried finding the photos online, couldn't. So again, I went back to Fiverr and I just literally said, try and find these photos for me. And somebody did in a couple of days. They were absolutely bang on. And we used those. So yeah, highly recommend getting, just pay people to do stuff if you can. It saves such a headache.
So again, you've done really well in that section. I mean, it's not surprising, is it? You've done amazingly well in all the kind of components of bringing your Amazon FBA business to life, and that's why you've achieved success. So okay, then we get to December and your product's about to arrive. What was the feeling like? Were you nervous, excited?
Yeah, nervous, definitely. Almost didn't know if it was going to work. Like honestly, like I think it all landed in, I think it was November, but it took forever to get to Amazon. A little bit like the stock I've just been waiting for now.
Yeah,
it just arrived today.
Oh, did it? Congrats.
Yeah, just came today. So we've been out of stock for a couple of weeks. It's just turned up today. Yeah, I don't know why. I was just wondering, is this going to work? And it all landed, and they sent me an email saying, "Oh, your stock's getting checked in," and I was like, "Yeah, right." But is it actually going to appear on the listing?
Yeah.
Got PPC going, and
how was that?
Do you know what I should have done? I should have done the course, Jansen. I should have followed the PPC.
When you did that initially, you're like, "Nah, leave that for later."
I did it. I kind of did the first bit, and then I thought, okay, I know what I'm doing now. Apparently, I'm a whiz at PPC, even though I've never done it before. I was just spending a stupid amount of money bidding to get my product all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Even though I had one review on there. So like, you know, I kind of need to look at myself and what I would do. If I saw something sponsored at the very top and it had one review, I ain't buying it. So I don't know why I thought it'd be different for me. So just kept running PPC, kept hammering hard on PPC. Didn't make any money for, I think, the first 2 months. I think we literally just
trying to get your rank position.
Exactly. And I kind of knew that was going to happen. That was, you know, kind of the plan, really, just to hammer the PPC, get up the top.
I think you launched at an odd time. And when I say odd, I mean not a very advantageous time, because it's like the week before Christmas. So like PPC or pay-per-click advertising is expensive.
Yeah.
And then after Christmas, people are like, well, not buying anything now.
Yeah.
But I mean, from looking at your sales trajectory, you've still got sales in January, and then February it kind of took off. And typically it's not until end of February, early March where things resume.
Yeah.
So you got that initial like dose of endorphins being released when you first started making sales.
Yeah.
And then kind of what happened, after Christmas? Did you, gradually get more and more?
Well, so it was probably around February. I went, I'm going to go back to the course and I'm going to actually see what Jansen said as far as the PPC is concerned. And I followed it and I was like, oh, okay, I've been spending way too much on PPC. I think I kind of had it in my head that if I wasn't at the top, nobody would see me. But we were at the bottom of page 1 organically in the end, and we just started creeping up, and we weren't spending a fortune on PPC. I think maybe we were around 40%, something like that, on the ACOS. But every week just kept checking that, and then it was just coming further and further down. It's quite interesting to see how the ACOS changes with how you change your branding and how the reviews change. So the product itself hasn't changed. You've not changed the product, but people trust it more and they're buying it more of course it makes sense, based on, how many reviews you've got and, the pictures you've got. I did have this thing where, to start with, our main image had our packaging and the product outside the packaging. It looked really good because, like I said to you before, the design for our packaging was so nice. It was a real massive selling point. But Amazon kept pulling it, saying we weren't allowed. Even though our competitors had it, for some reason they weren't letting us. The bot was just picking ours up for some reason. So for ages, I just kept tweaking in the images, and I kept asking you guys on the call, like, what can I do? And I was trying to move it around. And anyway, the bot kept picking it up. So in the end, I just gave up and I thought, right, I'm just going to use the product, white background, and it worked just as well. I actually think, I think what was happening, it's funny, isn't it, with this, because you kind of get into the buyer's mind a little bit. I think what they were doing is they were clicking on ours, even though it looked plain, it was just a product, nothing else there. When they went in, I think they were like pleasantly surprised by the packaging that they instinctively bought then. Whereas if you look at the packaging before you've even got into the listing, you can kind of browse without clicking on any of them.
Yeah, they might not click into it. Yeah, and then they're on track.
So I think that's what was happening. I think people were kind of clicking it and going, "Oh, that's nice packaging," and then they were just impulsively buying it. Which worked out great. So actually, it worked out for the better in the end.
Awesome. I was the exact same. I remember I had my gift box on the picture, and then Amazon said no, and I was like, no, that's going to result in my sales crashing or whatnot. But it doesn't. I mean, you don't know until you test it, right? So that's that's great that it's actually had a positive impact overall.
Yeah.
So you then hit the 10K mark very rapidly.
Yeah.
And then how long after was it when competitors started getting a little bit jealous of the new man in the room?
Around the same time. So I remember when we ended up getting the bestseller badge because our main competitor ran out of stock. So yeah, again, it was just because they ran out of stock. But I mean, once you've got that bestseller badge, like sales just absolutely fly, which is great if you've got stock. But if you haven't got any stock on the way because you've kind of been just steadily trucking along, so then all of a sudden we're in a panic because we're selling all of this stock. I'm then ringing the supplier and I'm like, we're gonna have to ship some by air. So we're spending money getting it shipped by air. Again, it's worthwhile. It's worth it.
Were you still making a profit with air?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were still making a profit. Obviously, it wasn't as good, but still making a profit. And then, all of these like funny little reviews started coming in. We were having some nice reviews, and then it was just like a 1 star, and the reasoning was just like that's a bit odd. So I kind of had it in my head that I'm just going to treat every single review, every customer exactly the same. I literally send them a pretty well copy and pasted response. Kind of saying, really sorry, everything okay, even with a return. If I get a return, I reach out to them just in the hope that if they were planning on leaving a bad review, when they hear from me and I'm like, hey, is everything okay? You've just returned it. Anything I can help you with? I'm just going to get your refund sorted out. Let me know if you need anything, blah, 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 blah. And I started doing that. And what was interesting, I was then getting responses even from these dodgy reviewers. So, I mean, I thought I put in the group, one of them said, I've already had a refund, but can you send me another one through WhatsApp or WeChat? And I was like,
WeChat, that's a giveaway.
Yeah. So, and it was great. So like, if anybody ever has any of these issues, I would highly recommend you treat everybody the same, because how they respond could work as good evidence as to what they're actually up to. And that was the first fake review. Well, actually, there's 2 of them that were linked. That I managed to get removed, and it was the fact that they were using WeChat and WhatsApp in this response message about a refund that it was just a dead giveaway, like you say. And Amazon ripped it off, immediately. But yeah, we're still getting them now. Actually, they just, some of them you can't. It's almost like they're tightening up. It's almost like they realise why they're getting caught out and they're tightening up. I mean,
and they know what to do. Yeah.
The most recent one was the review was from someone with a very English name, but the purchaser, they were Chinese. I mean, the name couldn't have been any more Chinese. And this is another one as well, is they tend to have them delivered to those Amazon locker boxes. So there's not a delivery address linked. So if it's a name that looks a bit suspicious, it's been delivered to an Amazon hub box, then I'm like, but some of them you can't do anything about. You just have to, eat it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if you kind of, when you're researching, the whole researching what's happening to you, what happened to me, but I went through the exact same.
That is exactly what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, you've just got to keep pushing and keep complaining to Amazon, and then I think eventually what happened was the competitor was like, "This is costing me a fortune in products," and they're all getting removed. They just gave in. But the one thing I will say to you guys is that seller is not on Amazon anymore. Their sales just complete. I still sell the same product, so you've just got to keep pushing. And like you said at the beginning of the chat, just failure is not an option.
Yeah.
And once they realise that, they'll back off.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
what you can also do, I'm not sure if your supplier supplies any of these guys, because I've had chats with mine before and said I think they're doing fake reviews, fake 5 stars, and they said we don't like that. Well, if they carry on doing it, we'll stop supplying them.
Oh,
So
okay. That's
it
interesting.
could be worth a chat with your supplier if they do supply them.
Yeah.
You never know. Hopefully, it's not actually them. They
Can you
supply
imagine?
themselves.
Yeah. Mate,
But yeah, I'm glad that you did manage to get it largely resolved, and you've got the support of the Smashers Academy, all the members in it.
Yeah, it's been
To
great.
help you out as well. So we're an undefeatable army.
Yeah.
So that's probably undoubtedly the low. What would you say has been the high of your Amazon selling career?
Honestly, mate, it's just changed my life. There's been so much doubt leading up to it. Trying to be financially free. I mean, the whole point of this was just to have some extra income that could help me spend more time at home. Now, with one product, I'm a full-time Amazon seller.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, it's kind of crazy. My friends kind of like last Tuesday, they said it was a friend's birthday, and they went, "Do you want to come out? We're going to go combat archery or something like that." And I went, "Yep," because I can go. And he went, "Oh yeah, you're doing that thing, aren't you?" And it's like, "Yeah," and it's like,
he's like, "That was an empty invite. I didn't expect you to say yeah."
Yeah. Oh, I didn't want you to say yeah. But it's just, I mean, I get up in the morning, I see my little boy, I go to the gym, I come back, and then I spend all day with him. And if there's any work to do with Amazon, I've got my phone there, my PC's upstairs if I need to. It changed my life. Like, I can't overstate it. It's mental. And anybody that's getting, like, anyone watching this that's wondering whether to do it, if they're on the fence. I know everyone says that when they come on here, but honestly,
and you were as well. You were on the fence,
honestly,
right?
I was so on the fence for ages. Just do it if you can. If you've got the money, do it. I mean, I know the course. Your course is quite unique to most in that you can pay in installments, and that was the big seller to me. That made me trust you. It's hard to trust somebody when they're saying, "Can you give me $6,000?" And you're like, "No."
Yeah, up front, yeah.
It's been amazing, mate, and it's completely changed my life.
And it's probably changed your son's life as well, right? The additional time that you spent with him, and
such a good point. He's developed so much more because both of his parents are around, and because he has difficulty communicating. If there is anything he's trying to communicate to us, it's really subtle. Like, it's really subtle. It might just be a little tug where he's thinking, if I tug their leg, will they know what I mean? And it's little things like that. And because we're both around now, we can pick up on it. And then that snowballs and he learns something. It's been amazing. He's absolutely flying now. I can take him to nursery. I can take him to toddlers. Like, I used to leave the house at 7 o'clock in the morning, not get back till 6, and I wouldn't see him.
Yeah.
It's been amazing, mate.
Incredible, super inspiring. And, managing to spend more time with your family, more importantly, more time in the gym, getting paid. There's so many positives. And I think it's great that you've come up with those reasons, actually, because a lot of people would just say, oh, it's great having, tons of money and stuff like that. But it's so rewarding, isn't it, in every aspect of like the opportunity or whatnot. But okay, I did have a few more questions, but just conscious of time, guys, if you have any questions of your own for Gaz or myself, please do post them. I'm just kind of skimming through now. So you've got a comment complimenting your beard, Gaz.
Thanks, man.
Not quite a question.
I've not had it long,
actually. It is a cool beard, to be fair, and your tattoos. Okay, what else have we got? So here we go. Mr. or Mrs. Facebook user, very relatable story. With the pictures, how did you go about them? So I guess we answered that one. Did you find something on Fiverr? Any recommendations, or did you go with Chinese? So I think we did kind of answer that, didn't we? But what would be your advice to Robert, I suppose? Do you think it's best to, go with Chinese in the first instance if the quality looks good?
It depends on. I mean, it depends on a lot, doesn't it? So it depends on the product. Sometimes you'll need somebody to physically have your product so that they could take photos. Like, if it's a product where like a man's beard grooming product. You might want them to actually physically have the product and then photos of them with it. If it's kids that I don't know, if it's a tray for kids eating, you might want to see pictures of your product with a baby eating out of it. But some stuff you don't need that. So it entirely depends on what the product is. I mean, like you said on the course, that you can have samples sent out directly to somebody from Fiverr, but I would get professional photos done. Don't try and do myself. I did, and they were shocking.
And did you ever like look at your level of conversion or anything like that when you started making changes, or was it just yourself going, "Oh, my sales have gone up, my ACOS has gone down"?
Yeah, it was. I was just kind of looking at the ACOS mainly. The ACOS is quite a good tell, because with the ACOS, they've been in, they've had a look around your listing, and then if you've had a conversion from that. The ACOS was a big was a big giveaway, really.
And I bet there's no better feeling than seeing your ACOS reducing, is there?
Oh,
Especially
mate,
when you're
honestly,
just pumping.
I remember I
I
messaged you when I first, or I think I put it in the group or something. And my first time doing it, I was like, guys, my ACOS is at like 420%. Am I doing something wrong? And you were like, guys, chill out, man. It's been on there for a day. Like, calm down. But I think we're around 20 now, so we're okay.
And would you say that you feel quite competent with it now? I know that it's like a minefield, but do you understand it? And
I understand it. Yeah, I understand it. But it's we're kind of like we're kind of settled in now with our keywords. There aren't any new keywords popping up. It's it depends on the product, doesn't it? But there's nothing new popping up now. We've got a video up. I did say try and get someone on Fiverr if you can. Our video, it's really good, and everybody kept going.
You, is it?
No, it's not me. They were messaging me and they were going, "Who did you employ to do your video? Who's the model?" And it was my wife.
Really?
My wife did it, and it's absolutely bang on. So when I said to her, I said everybody's asking who the model is, and she went, "Really?" I'm like, yeah, they're asking, and it gave her a bit of a boost, I think, because she wasn't sure about it. But
oh, nice. So she was the model. Who filmed it?
She did. She got one of those stands with the ring lights. Yeah.
Oh,
so she got the stand with the ring
nice.
light, and mate, I'll send you the video. I'll send it you.
So that didn't really cost you anything then, and it's probably generated tons of sales for you.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's funny. So like when you've got competitors, it's not just about getting sales with your ad. If your ad is there, someone else's isn't. So there was this other video that was taking up the space constantly, and now we're there, and it's great because they're not. So even if we don't get that many sales from it, it's okay because we're just taking up the space.
Exactly. That's I know someone that teaches PPC, and that's exactly what they say. They say if you're not participating in the auction, like bidding, then your competitor is getting cheaper clicks and they're appearing more to customers. The questions are coming through, but I'm getting quite a lot on just your looks, basically. So we've got someone saying you look like Gerald Butler. I'm not going to read these out.
I wish I looked like Gerald Butler.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm just trying to filter through all the actual questions about Amazon rather than just saying how good looking you are. But Lynn is saying, did your supplier do the packaging for you?
So the supplier basically gave me an example of the packaging they use and what other brands, I think they're in America, and what they've got. So I basically took that and took the images of that and just sent that directly to my guy on Fiverr, and he just did the design and our branding over the top of it. Awesome. So yeah, didn't have to do much with that.
Cool. Then we've also got, love your enthusiasm. Have you asked for many samples from different suppliers? Did you just buy one from your competitor to compare?
Just went with one, and just compared them.
So did you buy your competitors from Amazon UK and get them shipped to yours?
No. Oh, so sorry. No. So I didn't even bother getting the comparison, getting one from a competitor. I just ordered a sample to see if I'd like it or not, and I did. The idea was to order the competitors as well and compare the two. But from reading my main competitor, I'm going to be careful I don't give away too much. Reading the comments, the reviews of my competitor, what they were selling looked exactly the same, but it wasn't the same. The quality was different. So it was very easy. By just me getting mine, I could go, okay, this is better. This is actually what it's supposed to be like. But yeah, I just got the one. I was over the moon with it.
Hit the nail on the head.
Easy, haven't I?
Yeah. You have indeed. All right. So Ryan is asking, when you were doing your keyword product research, were you just typing in random words? That's quite a good one, actually. So was it Cerebro you were using or Magnet?
Yeah, use Cerebro. Basically, all I was doing, I was looking for similar to when you do the product research. You type in, the revenue that you want, the price of the product, etc., etc., etc. With that, I was just doing it under keywords, and I was looking for keywords that had a search volume of, I think it was 10,000. I think. And then everything else, very similar to, I think I was no more than 3 keywords or 3 phrases per keyword. And I was just messing with that. Honestly, guys, just mess about with it and just see what comes back. Because the fact that I can't remember exactly what settings I was using means I was just faffing around and seeing what came back. But I highly recommend doing it because I don't think many people do it. And we found our first product just by doing exactly that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think people kind of set fixed parameters, refresh it in turn, don't like the results, then the next day they just come out with the exact same and they're like, well, there's nothing new. So
Exactly right. That's what I was doing.
So yeah, that's spot on. We've got Mr. and Mrs. Facebook user. Is your packaging something the customer keeps, like a gift box, I suppose, or disposable?
Ours is disposable. Well, yes, this one's disposable. Our second product, it's going to be something that they would keep and store the product in.
So was it just I guess the quirky design and the branding that you thought would appeal to the customer, as opposed to the fact that they could keep it?
Yeah, it was just the design. It just stood out. It looked, it hit the target demographic quite well. Whereas it just stands out. It's hard to explain, but the branding is so bad that everyone else is doing. It was quite not. It wasn't easy. Our designer did a bang up job. It was brilliant, but it was easy to stand out as far as the packaging was concerned. It was very Western, basically. It was just a Western style to it. The others, you could just tell they're made in China.
Yeah, and have you got UK based or UK brand, etc., on your listing?
On the listing, yeah. On the listing, obviously.
I don't know if you've seen this yet, but Amazon today or yesterday are now putting a small business badge on listings.
Oh,
I don't know what the criteria is, but I've got it. I heard that it was anything under 50 million, so I was like, everyone's going to have it. Revenue per year.
50 million is a small business.
Yeah, I know, but I've had a look at all my competitors and none of them have it. So it's worth checking. Just search for your niche on Amazon, and under the price it'll say small business. And when you click it, it says we're supporting small businesses. So I think that will also help.
Yeah.
In terms of additional sales.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, definitely get UK based business and stuff on there. I've got it plastered all over mine. Okay, what else have we got? So Olu Kored, sorry if I mispronounced your name. What weight do you recommend? My view is anything under a kilo. Anything that's heavier than that is quite pricey to ship by air. But you said that your product was cheapish to ship by air. What weight is it? What we're talking?
I should know this, shouldn't I? Okay, so 120. So I'll figure it out. So,
I can't believe you don't know all your dimensions from doing your shipping plans.
Yeah, because I wrote them once. Oh, okay. So there you go. Each one of mine is 14 grams.
14?
Yeah.
That's ridiculously light. That's very light.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, I wouldn't get down, guys, if you can't find anything that light, because I mean, I think mine is 200 to 500, but anything under a kilo is all good. Henry is asking a good question. So you're taking some profits out just to enjoy. I guess, how does that play into your long-term strategy? Is that not going to hamper your growth with second products, or are you just, have you still got enough of a surplus?
Yeah, we're okay. I mean, I'm not living the high life by any stretch. We're literally just taking enough to live on, and then the rest of it is going straight back in. That's the main goal, is just to keep reinvesting into the business. We're just we're lucky. I mean, we've done really well. We've done really well in a short space of time. So we've just been very fortunate to be able to hold a little bit back to pay bills and stuff, and then reinvest the rest.
Yeah, I think you're probably also downplaying your success there a bit, Gaz, because I think you know, that good mindset of not willing to give up and, you know, being persistent. You did product research for 4 months, right?
Yeah.
I've had people enroll on the academy before,
Yeah.
and they've mailed me and said, I can't find a product. Like, I'm thinking of giving up. And I'm like, how long
Yeah.
have you been looking? A week, 2
Yeah.
weeks, you know?
Yeah.
So to do it for 4 months, I think it shows, you know, that you've got a lot of stamina and resilient, you know,
Oh,
everything that you need to
definitely.
be an entrepreneur, basically. So
Definitely. I mean, it's,
I'm sure luck it plays into it a tiny bit, but you know,
yeah.
you guys have worked very hard.
Yeah. The luck has landed because we were there doing it. You know, it's not like it just appeared as we were walking down the road. I've been lucky in that I carried on doing it. I carried on doing the research, and it was there. So you do
Yeah,
have to put the time in. Like I said, don't overdo it every single day because you'll burn out.
yeah.
And I think that's what happens. I think that's what happened with me for the first week. I hammered it for a week, and after a week, I was like, "Why haven't I found anything yet?" Yeah, like I know everyone says it's cliche. There is no such thing as a perfect product. There isn't. You know, and don't think you need to find one that's going to make you an absolute load of money in the first instance. If need be, just find a few smaller items
Yeah.
that altogether, you know, bring you a decent income. Yeah, it's branding, guys. Honestly, I keep saying it. Branding is everything. If you can brand, and you can outcompete. Like you really can.
It,
So many people aren't doing it properly. So many people aren't even brand registered.
yeah.
Get brand registered. Like, I don't know why people don't do it.
I guess because they see the 200 quid that you need to spend on a trademark and they get
And,
off,
and,
but
and
it
I
pays for
understand.
itself, doesn't it?
I get that. I do understand that, but just do it if you can. Do it because it makes the difference. It really does. I couldn't have
Yeah.
done it without that brand registry.
Yeah. Are you one question I forgot to ask actually, your second product, is that the same brand?
Same brand, yeah,
And is it
yeah,
like an extension of the same product?
kind
Like,
of.
how did you go about finding that? Did you just think it's the natural product to do next?
It's basically something. It's something that keeps popping up on the first page. It's a different product, but it keeps popping up on our page. So by going through Helium with that, and I was like, that's doing quite well. And because we've done well with this first product, we can now add that on, and hopefully when they come into our store, because we've got the store at the top of the page, on the top of the page now, so they can come in. If they come into the store to look at our first product, they will then see our second product without us having to advertise too much with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit of an extension. That wasn't the plan all along. I mean, the plan initially was find a product, create a brand. For product number 2, we might have to make a completely new brand. But as it stands, we haven't done that on this one, so we can hopefully get a few products.
It's so much easier when you do that as well. Like, that's
Yeah,
something that I've done. Basically started with one product, and I've just carried on launching products under the same branding area. And yeah, it's a
yeah,
lot easier to do it that way. So guys,
yeah,
we
yeah.
are kind of just getting over a lot of time. So I'm just going to run through these last questions now. We had about shipping. Do you use your freight forwarder, your own freight forwarder, or do you use one through your supplier?
No, I use a freight forwarder. Only
Keep it all
because the
separate.
supplier's quote initially was a little bit too steep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've gone with our own in the end. I mean, the freight forwarder I've used is FBA.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Christina.
yeah, and they just do everything for you. It just takes a lot of the headache out of it. One day I might try and go a little bit more, manage a lot of it myself, but for the time being, there's other stresses to deal with. I don't want to be worrying about all of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okie doke. So Ryan, did you look into any Facebook or other groups to check out your audience and understand them?
No, not that I wouldn't, but I understand the product well enough to know what my target demographic is. It's pretty straightforward. It's a pretty straightforward product.
Cool. Good stuff. So guys, we are just over our allotted time. So I'm going to let Gaz go and finish his Coke, have his dinner,
Thanks, man.
play with his son if he's still up, give his wife some attention and tell her about what a good job he did. But yeah, Gaz, awesome job. As I said, super inspiring story. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you as part of the academy and to see
Thanks, Pete.
you flourish from an absolute beginner with no experience to, what will, I've no doubt, soon become 6-7 figure seller. Before I do just close the session, were there any kind of final words of advice? I mean, you've been full of them throughout this so far, but you know, if you had to say anything to the guys watching that might be thinking about giving up or struggling, is there anything that you'd, you know, say to them?
It's easy to say it, but just don't give up. Just keep going. If you've come this far to even join the group and pay for a course, like that's the hard bit actually, is committing to doing that. Once you've done that, keep going, keep hammering at it every chance you get. I know it is. It's the product research. That's the hard bit.
Yeah.
Once you get past that, it's all good. Well, it's not all good, but you know, most of it is. But just don't give up. Don't give up with the product research. Yeah. Just keep going, guys. Honestly, please, because I've struggled. If I can do it, anybody can. 3 C's, 7 D's, 2 E's in my GCSEs, and my 2 E's are in maths and English.
That's quite the achievement.
Thanks, man.
That's awesome, though. That's great that you've, you know, you've shown your old teachers, you've created your own business, you're an importer, you've done branding, you've calculated your profit. I hope so. Anyway, I hope you are operating a surplus.
I did. Thanks to your spreadsheet, I did. Yeah.
Awesome, guys. So yeah, thank you once again. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your weeks, and yeah, speak soon. Thank you very much.
See you guys.